What is up, Hyperdrivers? Welcome back to the channel. Today in the house, I got something special. Another Mythos statue has dropped into the collection. This, of course, is the Obi-Wan Kenobi based on the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars animated shorts that first aired back in 2003. This is the fourth Mythos statue of the newer collection that I have. I currently have all of the Mythos statues, and I picked this one up here over at Comic Concepts. Mostly because this statue doesn't come with any exclusive edition, so buying it at Comic Concepts is just a smarter option. You know, you get it for less, and it may not come as quickly as getting it from Sideshow, but I didn't have to pay as much either. So that's why I picked it up there. So if you're looking for a good deal on collectibles like this, make sure you check out Comic Concepts, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Also, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you can jump to light speed every week with us right here on the Hyperdrive. So this one right here is the fourth, like I said, of the Mythos statues that I picked up. I was on the fence with this one. I was also on the fence with the Anakin Skywalker that came out afterwards, mostly because I was not impressed with the Emperor Palpatine or this Darth Sidious that they came out with. It's my least favorite in all of the Mythos collection. So when I received that, I almost felt like I was going to stop collecting these. But I felt like I owe it at least to you guys and to the channel, you know, to review the rest of the Mythos collection. And perhaps I'll have my mind changed. I did see this over at the Sideshow Con and during the videos. I felt like their video footage wasn't the best, but some of the close-up pictures that I saw that were taken later on, I thought that it had a little better look than what I initially was shown. So anyway, here's the box. It's a pretty big box for a 1/5 scale statue. On this side here, you can see that you have Kenobi with the Generation 1 clone helmet that he wore during that animated short. So that's why you see that there. It's the usual box that they have with the black and the gray side, so nothing really big there. It says Mythos on this side, nothing, and then on this side you see General Kenobi unmasked, and they got that nice flame background, you know, which is kind of cool. Kind of weird though, because that makes it look like Mustafar, and you know, this didn't really take place on Mustafar, so you know, it does brighten it up though, so that's cool. But that's it. Nothing really big as far as the box design goes. Let's get it out of the box and see how it looks in the foam. All right, there it is inside of its foam. So you can see how it all comes. You have what looks like the base with the battle droid. This is the cloth cape. You got the lightsaber, one of the arms. You got the portrait, the Phase 1 clone trooper helmet, his body, another arm, and some flames and stuff for effects, which is neat. And that's it. It looks like it's packaged pretty good. I like that they continue to put the lightsabers in this plastic to make sure that it doesn't show up broken. So everything looks pretty cool from here. Let's get it assembled. All right, base looks pretty cool. Got a super battle droid right there, number 707 of 3500. I like the design on the bottom of the base. Not too often that I really dig that, but check that out. That's pretty cool. Too bad you're not going to be able to see that, but I actually like the design, so that's pretty neat. All right, not too big of a base, so that's cool. Make it easy to display. All right, got a couple of lightsabers sawed off, severed robot arms. Pretty dope. Color is really nice. Like the way that looks. And they appear to be color coded, so that's cool. I like that. Lets me know where to put it. That one goes here, and this one I assume goes like that. All right, got a couple of explosion clear resin pieces here. These look really nice. See that? Pretty well done. Let's see. I don't even know if I have to connect these yet, but I'm going to put them in anyway, just in case that they don't go around the body. So that one goes like that. And this one. Okay, so I actually put them on in reverse. So this one here goes in first, like that. And then this one goes like that. Pretty simple. All right, so next up we have the body. I gotta say I'm digging it. Looks pretty cool. It's got nice weathering on it and everything. I like the paint so far. It looks nice. Has definitely an animated take to it. Let me show you guys close up. So it definitely has an animated take to the body. You can see the details there and everything. It looks very nice. Sculpting is pretty good. You can see the weathering in the boots and the scuff marks and all that. So that all looks really good. Nice look. I like the fold on the boots. Although I don't know how the armored boots would fold like that. That doesn't make much sense to me. Because the boots are kind of like an ABS material, or maybe they're not, but at least in the clone troopers they are. So if he's wearing clone armor, I think that would be not, it wouldn't have that kind of bending in it, or folding in the boots, but maybe I'm wrong. We got the arms, just like with the boots, they got some scuffing and weathering in it, which is pretty nice. And here's the hole for the lightsaber arm. And then you have this one that's got the Jedi logo on it, which is cool. I think they did a nice job there. And then you got the hand. And it's got a nice paint tone to it. It's got shading and everything in it, so that's cool. That's done pretty well. Right, so that's going to go like that. And then that one's going to go like that. Next up, we got the lightsaber. Same thing, you got scuffing in the hand and all that. You have a pretty accurate look to the lightsaber hilt from the Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars. So you can see that it does have a look like that. I love how the lightsaber ignites. I think that's cool. I like that about the new Mythos statues. It has this kind of like, you know, kind of flame at the front, and then it, you know, teeters out at the very top, kind of points, comes to a point. That's cool because the in the cartoon, the lightsabers had more of a point. So nice. All right, now we got the cloak and the two portraits. All right, so let's start off with the cloak. The cloak is a cloth material. It's got some tethered edges. You can see down here, which is nice. Holes in it, which is pretty nice. Dirt and grime all built up into the cape. Now, this, of course, is opposable. It's got a wire that I can feel that goes around the edge here. There's no wiring in the lower part, but there's wiring split in between the cape. So there's like wiring here in the center, you know, and wiring here again. So kind of like a Batman statue, you have several points of wiring that you can take and use to pose your cape. I'm probably going to have to go through some posing. Now, what I like to do when I pose my capes is I try to find something to reference, and then I'll try to mimic the look of that type of cape, and that's what I'll do when it gets to that. I'm gonna probably just do a speed lapse when I try to take and pose that for you guys. All right, let's get to the portraits. So you have two portraits right here. Let's start off with the Phase 1 helmet. We got the Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. There it is right there. Looks pretty good. All right. It's got some weathering in it, just like the rest of the armor. He wore this helmet in the one episode where he battled Dirge, but he never really wore it again. So, and honestly, man, if I'm having Kenobi, I don't know that I would display it like this, because, you know, I want people to know it's Kenobi and not just a clone trooper wearing, you know, Jedi armor. You know, if somebody just came in, obviously us Star Wars fans know who it is, but, you know, not really for me. And then you have the Kenobi portrait, which this looks really, really good. It's kind of like a cross between Ewan McGregor and an animated look for Kenobi. I like the coloring in the beard. It's got, you know, some tones in there, so you see kind of like a blondish, dirty blondish, you know, brunette kind of thing going on. He is kind of dark though. Looks like he got a tan. But, you know, he's got a determined look on his face, so I dig that. It's probably what I'm going to go with. All right, let's get to putting this in. So the cape has a hole in it, and you can pop the portrait through when you want to take and pose it. And then the wiring goes all the way around the front, so you can even pose the front there. And then you just slide it in like that. And then we got to find a way to pose this cape to make it look cool. right, there it is, the General Kenobi Mythos statue. You spin it around right here and give you guys a quick turnaround now that I have the cape posed. I didn't want to have a very elaborate flowing cape this way. Now, one of the things I love and also makes it very difficult to display the original Kenobi Mythos statue is that the cape is sculpted and it bellows in one direction. So if you want to take and have the lightsaber connected to it and have him shown, displayed with the lightsaber, it makes him super, super wide. Very difficult to display inside of a Besta that way, unless you angle it. So I didn't want to have such a flowing cape that way, especially since the other one already has the cape flowing that way. So I didn't want to have a mimic of that. That's why I made the cape kind of curve in a little bit. It also hopefully give me a little room when I go to display it. As it stands, the statue is, let's go this way. He's about 18 inches, 17 and a half inches tall, probably considering the lightsaber. And then the way I have the cape posed, you're looking at about 18 inches wide and roughly 10 inches deep. You could probably get less if you, were to take and pose the cape down. It's one of the advantages of having a material cape instead of a sculpted cape. But I do like to have sculpted capes. It's just, I prefer that. This one here ran $590, has an edition size of 3,500. Like I stated before, this is number 707 in the line. 3,500 makes it the second lowest currently. No, third lowest, because I think Kenobi or Anakin is actually in the 2000s for edition size, but he's about 1,000 less than both Maul and Asajj Ventress was. I have to say, seeing it in person, I like it a lot more than what I saw in the pictures and even in the video that I saw with Sideshow. Feel like that was not doing it enough justice. I like it a lot better than the Palpatine and than the Sidious statue that they released. So I dig that. Do I like it more than my original Kenobi Mythos statue? Absolutely not. The original one, I think it has a much more awesome appeal to it. It has the classic look. You have the Ewan McGregor and the Alec Guinness portraits, which I think is fantastic. So it's a different statue. So that's why I like that one so much more, and I think that's why it maintains its price point. This one here for $590, it could have been less, I think. I think this one here probably should have been right around $500. Sideshow, I think, was pushing the envelope with their price points here on this newer Mythos line. So, I think that you could probably wait it out a little bit and maybe get a deal, possibly free shipping or something like that, especially with the edition size being as high as it is. I don't see this one selling out super fast. So that's my opinion as far as that goes. Now, as far as the look of the statue, I think it's got a really nice presence to it. Yes, it doesn't fit very well with the other Mythos statues, especially the older ones, because the older ones have a more realistic look to it. They kind of look like they came from the movies. Even the first two with Asajj Ventress and with Darth Maul, I feel like those have a lot more detail in it and make it look like it's more movie take or realistic take on these animated animated shorts. This one here, I think, is leaning more towards the Clone Wars animated series. All right. Another thing that I'm going to say as a critique, I'm not a real huge fan of the base. I mean, I am. It's a nice looking base. It's not a bad looking base. I think as what I would have done if it was my choice, especially since we're going with the look from the animated shorts, is this should have been Dirge. In the episode of the Clone Wars, Kenobi leads a swoop gang, not a swoop gang, but a swoop division of the clone troopers, and that's why he was wearing the helmet. He comes across the bounty hunter Dirge, and Dirge starts, killing a bunch of the clones. The helmet gets knocked off, and then he fights Dirge, and there's this big battle between them, which he eventually defeats Dirge. And it would be kind of neat that if he was standing over that. I think that would give this a lot more meaning, in my opinion, towards those original animated shorts. Because I love the original animated shorts. That's what, my first look at what the Clone Wars was, because we didn't have the Clone Wars 3D animated series that Filoni had made at that point. We just had these shorts that came out just before the Revenge of the Sith. So You know, that I think would have been better. But having the Super Battle Droid, I think, is also pretty cool. They did a great job with the look of the Battle Droid. It looks like it. I like the weathering and the score marks that they put on it. I like that you can see some of the lightsaber damage that they did to it. You can see the severed parts. Would have been cool. I don't even know if you can. Maybe you can do it. But yeah, look, you could take and move up the arm like that if you want to. You don't have to lay it. So it's kind of like this has its own way to display. It looks like you can take and really pretty much put it any way you want to there. So I'm going to leave it up, even though it probably goes down. But you can actually see the severed detail right there. Whereas when you have it like this, you know, it's aimed down and you don't really get to see it. So I mean, it's a nice touch to see the color there. So I like that you could see the burnt, you know, metal, which looks good. So nice work there. I like the way these explosive details come off. It does look kind of cartoony a little bit. It's clear. I like how it goes from an orange to that white clear look. But you know, he looks more animated, so I think that fits. As far as his look, I think he has a good presence to him. He's, you know, looking over the battlefield from what I can see. I like the paint application they did. Just like with the other Mythos statues, they put shading. I feel like there's a lot more paint work done in something like this than there is in some of the premium format statues that I've seen Sideshow produce. So I like that. You know, you got dirt and grime all in the armor, which looks cool. I like that the tunic has you know, the fading and you know, you have like more of like a darker brown going on here, and it leads into like that lighter tan color that he has for the suit. You can see the details in the pouches and in the belt, which is nice. I like all of the score marks on the armor, and even there's battle damage here on the shoulder pad, like it's actually got a dent in it, which is neat. And you can see the Jedi logo right there, which is nice. You know, General Kenobi, which is cool. I like his pose. I really love the lightsaber. Like I said before when I was unboxing it, I love how it flames up and then comes to a point. And I like that this is a kind of a detail that's carrying over in all of the newer Mythos statues. So I think that's pretty neat. As far as the cape goes, yes, I kind of wish it would have been sculpted. I think they didn't do such a bad job with the material on the cape. It's very thick, so it has a nice feel to it, and you know, it feels kind of weighty. Which is cool. I like that they gave you a bunch of wiring points. So that's neat. I don't understand why the cape splits though. That's a little weird. There's some areas where it attaches together, so I feel like it wants to be one cape, but it splits down here, which I don't know what the deal with that is. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, maybe they forgot to stitch it. I don't get that. I feel like that should have been connected somehow. So that's one thing that I would say. The wiring that goes around here is pretty cool because you could take and pose that also. So it adds some more posability to the cape. So that's pretty nice. As far as the portraits go, I feel like it's a really good animated look for Ewan McGregor. So it has you know, kind of like a Ewan McGregor look, but it also has kind of like an animated look. I feel like he could be a little dark. Maybe a little paler skin tone would have been better. He kind of looks kind of dark. You know, like he got a pretty good tan. You know, maybe he got a little too close to the sun with his Jedi Starfighter. I don't know. But yeah, he looks a little dark. I love the way the paint and the hair is done. They got nice tones there, and I like the way the hair is sculpted, so it looks like it's blowing in the wind, similar to the cape. You would think that the hair would be kind of blowing a little more this way though, just because it seems like everything else is kind of flowing that way. So yeah, you'd think it would be going that way, but I mean, it's all right. Not, you know, just nitpicking on that. You can swap out the portrait. You know, you pull that out there. Make sure you hold your cape. It's because otherwise you're going to lose all of that. And you can pop in his Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. So you could have him looking like that if you want to. I'm not going to be displaying it like this. It's neat, but not something that I would have liked to have seen. I don't know what I would have liked to see really. Maybe it would have been cool if they would have had a swap out him with him holding the helmet. I would be cool with that. It's because, you know, you want to see that it's Kenobi, you know, and at least to me anyway. And even though this has some really nice detail and you know, it looks good, it looks accurate to a Phase 1 helmet. It blocks the portrait. So it's not the way that I would display it. But I like that it carries on the details from the lower part of the armor. So that's pretty cool. So how would I rate this amongst the rest of my Mythos statues? As far as the newer line goes, I think it's my third favorite so far. I still think Asajj Ventress for me is the best one that I received of this newer Mythos collection, followed by Darth Maul, which is also a really awesome. I would probably say those two are neck and neck for my favorites. I like this one a lot though. This one does look really good. And I think they did a nice job with it. Much better in my opinion than the Darth Sidious statue that they released. Sidious is still my least favorite. And then amongst the Mythos collection, I still would put this one here beneath the original Mythos collection as a whole. Maybe not the Darth Maul, but definitely all of the others have, in my opinion, more presence than this. So again, I would say wait for a deal if you want to pick this one up, or pick it up over at Comic Concepts if it's still available, because you can get it for a little bit less, there. So I would probably give this on, if we were saying a full lightsaber ignition would be a 10, I would probably give this one like a 3/4 lightsaber ignition. It's like in the high 8s, maybe around there. So a pretty decent statue if you're looking to pick up a Kenobi statue, especially if you can't afford to try to get the original one. Because I know the original one goes over $1,000. It's very difficult to find. Not a lot of people sell that one. This is a nice option if you missed out on that one. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about this one right here. Do you agree with my rating, or do you rate this one higher? Do you like this one better than the original Kenobi? I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. And that's my thoughts, guys. So let me know in the comments below again, all those things. And until next time, may the Force be with you.